So it's an important time to be measuring TV and video across screens at the moment. Tell us how that works in the UK.
So the core measure that's the currency in the UK is a panel. It's a panel that reports 5,100 households a day, which is about 12,000 individuals. It's very carefully selected based on, there's a big establishment survey that happens, and out of that addresses are pulled, very carefully, minutely picked to be representative of the population as a whole, and that is the basis for the panel data that goes forward. At its base, it's about anything that's on the television screen. It works on audio matching, so it started with a TV meter, put into any television in the home, and collects audio matching, which does also mean if it's IPTV, if it's over the internet but on the television screen, it's already a part of what is in the currency. Shall I go into later developments? Is that helpful?
Well, no, so this is BARB, the UK TV measurement agency.
Well, BARB is the Joint Industry Committee, and they contract out their business, and we at Kantar have the current contract for it.
And so BARB's panel methodology is several decades old and has sometimes faced criticism for being outmoded. How would you speak to some of those criticisms?
I think BARB's been very good at updating as they've gone along. So it has, if you think about it, the world has changed dramatically. And BARB often talk about, well, when it started, it was measuring 3 channels, and now it's measuring, a bazillion times more than that. Many more channels that get measured, and it has at points increased the size of the panel. And the latest, biggest thing they're doing is bringing in online census data. What I would say is that we're also changing the world in which we live in terms of how you actually deliver that. It's not anymore something that I as the agency can do on my own. Actually, to collect online census data involves the broadcasters tagging their sites and being involved, so we share responsibility, I think, for the timetable and how quickly things are moving on it.
So when you think about the challenge of cross-screen measurement, BARB is also approaching that through Project Dovetail, of which I think Kantar has some interest. Could you tell us about that?
So I guess there are 2 elements to it. So on the one hand, what we've done with the base panel, the 5,100 households who report every day, we have begun to measure their online devices as well. So we put a software meter effectively in their PCs, laptops and tablets, so that and it's now at about 2,400 households, so more than that in terms of devices, that have the software meter put into onto their devices, so we can collect that information from them. But in addition as well, BARB's Dovetail project has been about collecting census level data. So that is not on a panel, straight from the player provider as players get tagged. The first step of that has been to produce just the census level data itself, common metrics across all the broadcasters, so that now you can see across BBC, ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, Sky, UK TV and UTV, STV, a couple of other ones, on a like-for-like basis, common metrics across them, which is really an industry first. It is still, though, at the census level, so the device level, so we can tell you what the total minutes are for a program or for totally for a player. What it can't do is tell you who it is. So the second stage of Dovetail, which is just beginning its prototype, is about combining that census level data with the panel level data to help to give a who that device is, because at the end of the day, that's what advertisers and program makers want. I've never heard anyone say they're designing a product or a program for a device. They're doing it for a person. So that's the information we want to know. So Dovetail 2 is just starting its prototype phase. It's again another groundbreaking thing from BARB. It's a 6-month competitive prototype. So Kantar and Nielsen are both at the same time doing a prototype of combining the census and the panel level data. It will be audited by RSMB, and then a final decision will be taken by BARB in June on who will do it going forward.
So 2016 is going to be a big year for
the future
of TV measurement. When you think about TV measurement, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges facing anyone who wants to measure video, TV across those screens?
I think the biggest challenges are, we sort of know them, and it's funny, I think there's a big challenge in terms of fragmentation, which we talk about a lot. So how do we make sure that we cover not just, we've really been making strides in trying to get to the across streams properly online. So by across streams we mean PC, tablet, and television. but also the long tail. We've talked about that a fair amount today, making sure that we get the long tail of proper, just normal television as well. So that's definitely a challenge that we have as an industry. But I think we also have a challenge in terms of aligning those metrics. Like I said, we're in a different world where at the moment everyone sort of does their own thing in some of those, and actually as a currency we have to have a standard by which everyone is doing the same thing. And that it's auditable, so it is not a black box. It has to be transparent and consistent, and that's sometimes quite painful to get to a place where everyone is playing ball.
Is it realistic? To do that across screens? It sounds complex.
It is complex. I think it's realistic because I think the will is there. But it's been quite a learning curve. We are having to operate in a different way than we've done previously. But I think the desire is there for people to know it, and we're so far down the path now that we won't go backwards. We are only moving in one direction.
Right. Well, thanks for your time.
Okay.